Good morning, students. Welcome back to your SST class. Today, I'll teach you social and political life. I hope you all have enjoyed your vacations, and during this vacation, you all have studied little bit and have done all your assignments, and you have also watched all the previous videos. From today, we are going to start new chapter in social and political life, that is chapter 3, that is the parliamentary form of government. As we have already studied the previous two chapters, that is our constitution and the second chapter, that is based on secularism. Okay, so today we are going to start the third chapter, that is the parliamentary form of government. In this chapter we are going to study that why parliamentary form of government is used, what is the features of parliament, and we are also study about the function of parliament, the executive, and also about the division of power between the center and the state. So in this chapter we are going to study about all these topics. We have already studied in chapter 1, that is, among all the special features of our constitution, one feature is that India is having parliamentary form of government. So basically, here the government has three distinct organs: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Basically, the parliament is the legislative body of the government. The executive comprises the president, the prime minister, and the council of ministers. In India, the executive is accountable to the legislature, and the prime minister and his council of ministers are member of the parliament. In short, we are knowing them as MP. Now the second topic is that why the parliamentary form of government has been taken for our country India. Basically, the framers of the constitution, they choose the parliamentary form of government for our country because they thought that the success of democracy completely depends on that the participation of the people in the governance of the country, that how actively they are participating. Since our country is a vast country, so it is not possible for all the citizens to participate in governance either directly or individually. So they need to elect representatives who act on their behalf, the representatives from the parliament. Now, if we talk about the parliamentary form of government, the executive is a member of the parliament, so the parliament can always keep a check on the powers of the executive, so emergence of a dictator is unlikely. Some of the leaders who were involved in framing of the constitution, they were familiar with the working system of parliamentary system in Britain, so they just wanted such kind of system for our independent India. That is why they have taken the parliamentary form of government. Features of the parliament: the parliament of India has two houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now we are going to study about firstly Lok Sabha, and then we are going to study about Rajya Sabha. Now, Lok Sabha, the first thing is composition, which we are going to study. Basically, Lok Sabha is also known as House of the People. It is the lower house of the parliament. The members of Lok Sabha, those are elected directly by the people through elections. Means we participate in the election, we do the voting, and then we elect the member of Lok Sabha. The total number of members in the parliament is 552, on which 530 members are elected by the people of different states, and 20 members are elected by the people of union territory. The president can nominate 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community. The elections are held on the basis of universal adult franchise, or you know it as UAF, which means that all the citizens of the country above 18 years have the right to cast their votes. So basically this is the composition which you have to keep in mind. Qualifications of the member: any citizen of India 25 years and above, they can contest the Lok Sabha elections. The person should not be mentally unsound or declared bankrupt. She must also had not hold any office of profit. Okay, so these are the 3 points which are the qualifications of the Lok Sabha member. If you really want to be the Lok Sabha member, you have to just these 3 qualification points it should be considered. Okay, so it should be okay, otherwise you are not going to be qualified enough to enter for the Lok Sabha elections. Tenure. Tenure is basically the period of time a person holds a position or office. If we talk about the tenure of being a Lok Sabha member, the Lok Sabha serves a term of 5 years. If due to some reason the government fails to enjoy the support of majority of the member of parliament, then at that time president can dissolve the parliament and call for fresh elections. What you have to keep in mind is that the Lok Sabha serves a term of 5 years, and if the majority of the members of the parliament are not supporting the government, then at that time president can dissolve the parliament and fresh elections can be held. Members of the Lok Sabha. For the purpose of elections, the country is divided into constituencies. So, from each constituency, one member for one seat in the Lok Sabha, it can be elected. For that one seat, candidates from different political parties they contest. Candidates who do not belong to any political party, or you can say that they are also called as independent candidate, they can also contest. After elections, the candidate who get the maximum number of the vote in a constituency is declared elected from that constituency. The members are also known as MPs. So that party that wins the maximum number of seat, it forms the government. Okay, so those members who belong to other political parties, they form the opposition. Basically, when one single party does not win clear majority of seats in the parliament, then two or more parties they come together and they form a new government, which is called a coalition government. Okay, the other parties who do not join the government, then at that time they form the opposition. The members of Lok Sabha, they elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. They conduct all the proceedings of the Lok Sabha, and all resolutions and bills have to be moved with the speaker's permission. Okay, that's it for today's class. I hope that you have understood all the topics very well. Thank you.